I want to thank you for joining me today. And before we get started, as always, all messages that are released on this channel are my truth. And that is exactly what it is and what it always will be. And that is my truth. Now, my truth consists of a bunch of experiences that I gained clarity from, which ultimately took me back to the real me, which is truth. Now, when I try to convince you that my truth is the gospel, however, my truth is the gospel for me. That does not make it the gospel for you, nor will I ever try to make it the gospel for you. By me being on this platform, I am simply placing breadcrumbs on a path that I've already walked. Now, you find yourself on a similar path and you resonate with said breadcrumbs and you say, you know what, I like that. I want to follow that. And that's cool. If not, that is cool as well. My purpose is to assist those who are ready to get out of their own way. So let's get right into it. All right, so let's jump right in. So today, I wanted to talk about my 3 biggest life lessons. There are a ton of life lessons that I've learned, but if I had to narrow it down to 3, if I was about to leave this planet and I was asked to give 3 pieces of advice, what would those 3 be up until this point in my life? And without a shadow of a doubt, these 3 would be what I would say, because I still every single day make sure these 3 are in my life. Number 1, always, and I do mean always, keep God, universe, consciousness, Allah, Vishnu, Buddha, whoever you want to call your divine source, first, above everyone in anything. There is not a person or a thing on this planet that you should put above God. If somebody came to you and said, hey, I'm gonna give you $5 trillion if you just say, you know what, you walk away from God. You're a fool if you do it. You are a total fool if you did it. When the thing is this, people say very easily, oh, I don't see any proof of God, and if God was real, blah, 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 yeah. You'll have all these different things which you think with your human mind makes sense. But you're thinking this with, once again, your human mind. You have no idea of the order of things in the universe and how everything is connected. Let's look at it like this. I walked away from a lot of people, family, like a lot. And I did that because of the respect, the lack of love. There's a lot of different things that I just couldn't agree with and deal with. So I walked away from that, right? Doesn't mean I don't love them. I still love them, have love for them, but we're just not vibrating the same. And I can't, when I was connected to that, it was literally pulling my energy. And I felt the worst that I've ever felt in my life, being connected to that. When I released myself from that, I felt better. Now, that was just me in this one lifetime, had enough, and I walked away. One lifetime. Now let's look at God's aspect. How many thousands of years you have people, quote unquote, you can't sell your soul. You can sublease your body, but you can't sell your soul because it's not yours to sell. But look how many individuals have, quote unquote, sold their soul. Look at how many individuals don't believe in God, right? A lot. So with that being said, you have this many people, over 1,000, constantly doing the same thing. You don't think you get tired of that and walk away as well? Okay, then you think you got it, you figured it out, then figure it out. Come to me when you figure out that's not the way. And that's how this is playing out. The majority of us go to God when we're at our worst or in the most pain. Like, this can't be it, God. God, give me. That's when, okay, now you want to come. All right, now let me show you how. Then that's when people get on board right then, because they're at such a low point that when they see that sign, they know it's real. You don't have to get to that point. You can just go ahead and do it now without sinking to that level and having to go through that. Keep God first above everything. Every person, I've had three individuals who I thought like we were so close, the titles, quote unquote titles, these individuals would never use exact word. They would never do blah, 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 XYZ. And guess what? All three of those individuals did XYZ. All three of them. And it was, and God had to show me, okay, so you putting these people up on this pedestal. Here you go. This is what these people are truly like. I got shown every single time. Every single time. And you know what the beautiful part is when you truly are, you keep God first and you're with God, right? And I walked away from things. God actually, I would be walking and I would hear conversations that people were having about me. I knew the people's voice. I'm like, interesting. Okay. God, when you are truly with God, He's going to protect you. Because I'm no longer around these individuals. Like, just so you know, hear what they're saying. Okay. Just so you know, this is what they're doing right now. Like I was told, I know what individuals were doing. Never even, because I already gave it to God. So I'm like, hey, you can handle that. I'm going to get closer to you. Will you please handle everything that no longer serves me? And that has been the case for a while now. Keep God first. Number 2, never dim your shine for anyone. For a long time, I didn't even understand what that meant. I was like, what the heck is never dim your shine? And I didn't understand it until one day I was meditating in my last apartment. And I was basically focusing on my heart space. And it felt like I hit a switch. The only way I can describe it. And when I hit the switch, it felt like I turned on a light. And I was like, that's what that meant. I was like, I knew right then when it happened, that's what it was. And then I was like, okay, did I do that? And I did what I just did, and it turned it off. I was like, thanks, I can turn it on and off, right? And I was like, oh, so that's what happened. Okay, so I turned it off before. Interesting. So I'm sitting there playing with this, and at the same time, I heard my downstairs neighbor's door slam hard, and I never heard her slam her door that hard. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Now, as the next couple of days, because I meditate every single day, when I would meditate, as soon as I turned that light on, boom, I heard she would never stay in her apartment. And then I was like, oh, I don't want to be, and I was like, I caught myself like, you know what? Hell no, I don't care what she do. And I said, as a matter of fact, I'm never cutting the switch off again. I never turned it off. Since that day, I've never turned that switch off again. Matter of fact, I probably went in and I put some duct tape and taped it up because I'm never turning it off. That is what it means. It makes people uncomfortable. I understand now, because the more you shine, you get around individuals who have not done the depth of work you've done, it makes them feel some type of way. That's what you see. You hear the people say, your light aggravates their demons. That's exactly what's going on. So what happens is these individuals in turn try to quote unquote humble you. It's not about humbling you. It's about that damn light is bright. I need you to turn that off. Coming around people, if you've done the work and you shining, it's equivalent to you walking into your bedroom and your partner's sleeping and you cut the light on at 2:00 in the morning. That's what it's like when you walk into a room with somebody got a bunch of demons attached to them. Those demons are aggravated. And then that person, that demon, that entity, whatever's attached to them is going to speak in their ear. Then now you got an enemy because you're shining. That's all it is. Oh, well, I don't care. Attack all you want, do whatever you want, but I'm not turning that light off again. That much, I assure you. So never dim your shine for anyone. For all of my life, this is just within a couple years of me turning my light on. I'm like, I'm not turning it off ever again. My thought process behind it before was, I could tell the individuals wanted that spotlight. They wanted to be the one in the room. I'm like, I don't care about that. I'm like, so, that was always my logic. So I've always went into a little shell, reduced that light. And that was all from childhood because that's where that came from. So I had to break that mentality, reprogram myself. No, that's not how I am. That's not who, I'm not being authentic to who I truly am. If I have a light, if the divine put a light in me, obviously they put it in there for me to use it, not for me to dim it. There is no dimmer switch. It was a switch on, off. Was no dimmer. It was a switch. So that light is on and it will remain on. Never dim your shine for anyone. And number 3, find the real you. And if you heard, when you heard me say the real you, if your response was,
Well, I know I'm me. I'm Steve. I work in the banking industry. I have a house, a car, a wife.
no, that's not who you are. That's a character you're playing. Those are roles that you have. Who you truly are is deep within you. The authentic you is who you truly are. People say, I have a soul. No, you are the soul. What you did was you fractured your soul. You took a little sliver of yourself, and now that little sliver that you broke off, you think is you. That's why it's the fragmented self. I'll put out another message on that. But you fragmented yourself, and now you think you're that little piece. No, you're the bigger piece. And until you recognize that and realize that, you will remain that fractured piece. And if you think that that's all you are, then that's all you will remain. But if you go within and you tap into who you truly are, you will discover that. There will be no confusion of who you truly are. Then you're going to drop all of these titles and labels and all, because you're going to know truth then. Then you can walk in authenticity, realness, wholeness. So I'm going to leave that there. And that's going to be the 3 pieces of advice. If I had to leave today, those would be the 3 things that I would pass on to everyone. Because those are the 3 biggest things that I've learned thus far on my journey. That I have tons of examples that were provided to me to show that, hey, this is how it is. And I'm going to leave it there. And as always, if you got anything out of this message, I ask you to like, subscribe, and I will definitely check you in the next one.